Good day, everyone. Welcome back to my channel, The Life of Cam, and today's topic of discussion will be 7 easy steps to selecting the right bootcamp. Many of you are watching are just like me. You are looking to do a career change or transition, also enhance your skills in a certain area in order to land higher opportunities for employment, increase your job performance, and then also receive promotions in the workplace. Previously in the past, the option that most people would select would be to return back to a college or university to earn additional undergraduate degrees or more advanced degrees in order to accomplish this goal. But now, thanks to advances in technology, one thing that has risen into popularity are boot camps in the tech field. The tech field boot camps have become particularly popular since there are a lot of jobs and career paths that people can get into without actually having a degree if they can prove they have the necessary skills and experience to do the job competently. The upside to this is people can save a lot of money and time while receiving their intended return on investment, but the downside is some boot camps can be very expensive. Some do not offer the true value that is intended, and some may be just flat out overpriced. So for these reasons, I compiled 7 easy steps that everyone should take when selecting a tech bootcamp in order to get exactly what they're seeking. Now for step 1. Step 1 in selecting a bootcamp is first deciding on a career path that interests you. By doing this, you will research what the job entails, the requirements, and the expected salary range from the actual job. I believe that this is an important first step so that way you have a clear set goal of what you're trying to accomplish, since most of the time when we are doing these boot camps, the ultimate goal is to gain the necessary skills to get a job. The second step that I would take is to start researching online as well as speaking to people who are previously attended various boot camps in order to receive recommendations. Researching online is simple as it can be asking people on social media and online forums about boot camps that they will recommend, and also if they have experiences in the boot camp that they will share their experience and if they personally feel it is worth it. While this is subjective, this is a great way to start because you can kind of gauge people's impression of certain boot camps if they are good or not. Let's say you hear nothing but negative things. Also, the polar opposite, if you were to only hear positive things, then it is something I think would be important to take into consideration. The third step I would take, or that we all should take, is to narrow it down to, I would say, 2 bootcamp options that you must pay for, and then also I would look at 1 free option or resources that may be also available as an alternative. And narrowing it down, it should be based on the cost, the quality, and the proven outcomes from other students that have attended the bootcamp in the past. Now for the fourth step, I would say is to look up reviews of bootcamps on various websites such as YouTube video reviews. But when doing this, I would say do this from independent YouTube channels versus doing it on the actual YouTube channel of the actual company, which it is very common. A lot of bootcamp companies actually do have a YouTube channel showing testimonials of people who did attend. I think this would eliminate some bias, since we all know if you own a company and you have reviews of people who experience being in boot camps, you're only going to show positive results. So same thing for these companies. So to have more objectivity, I definitely recommend looking up reviews on various YouTube channels from independent personal channels of prior students. The 5th step now I would recommend that people take is to find people who are from a similar background as yourself. When I say this, I mean someone who has a similar level of experience, education, and skills as yourself prior to entering the bootcamp. Just because that way, whenever you gauge the actual intended outcome of the bootcamp itself, you can relate it to somebody who's more similar to you versus, let's say, There might be someone where maybe you don't have a technology-based college degree and another person did. So when applying for jobs, because of that, that may be something that might set them apart a little bit. Or maybe you have no experience and then another person may have 5 years of experience and may just be looking to build up some of their skills. You cannot truly compare yourself to those people since they're in a different position to you, and vice versa if you're comparing yourself to someone with no experience and no education and you do have those things in the particular field of study. The sixth step that I would recommend would be to reach out to a career coach, a mentor for advice. Career coaches are mentors, so typically someone who is in the position that you would like to aspire to reach one day. That's typically who I recommend, someone as a coach or a mentor. That way they can provide you real world advice and a true recommendation as far as what they will feel is worth it. And they may even help you in making a plan or strategy in order to reach your intended goal. And the seventh and final step that I recommend is to create a plan and execute. So creating a plan can mean if you choose a boot camp based on the actual program that you're going to select, I would recommend that you create a plan as far as the time in which you plan to dedicate to the boot camp each day and each week, how long you expect the boot camp to take, and then also the things that you plan to do next in order to reach your intended outcome, which is the promotion on the job, the improved performance, or actually landing new employment for yourself. I think these are all things that should be planned for prior versus just expecting everything to be done for you. Also, if you do decide upon a free option, then actually creating your own structured learning curriculum, as well as finding all the different free resources and compiling them in order to reach the maximum value that you can achieve for yourself. Now, a few things I will say just to keep in mind is just simple things like cost. The cost is very important since some boot camps can be very expensive, and the one question I will always tell people to ask is the return on investment truly worth it? Which is the same thing that people will say about colleges and universities. The same applies to boot camps. Some are more expensive than others, and then also the level of value that each one may offer is a lot different. So I would definitely look at the cost and what you can afford to spend and what the ultimate outcome would be from choosing that option. The next thing I would look at is the reputation of the company, because just like colleges and universities, reputation is very important. Even if the bootcamp does provide solid skills and information, if the bootcamp has a poor reputation, then that could actually hurt you in the long run, even if the reputation or image may be seen as unfair. And the last thing that I would say is to actually look and see what is the most affordable way that you can accomplish this goal. So like I said before, there's free resources that are available that have the same quality and offer similar outcomes. Then of course I would say choose that. I would also recommend that if a boot camp is very expensive or you cannot afford it, I would look at other ways that you could fund it, like grants or scholarships that can be offered in order to complete your curriculum. Enjoy the content, please like and subscribe. I hope to see you again soon.